one. What is the number one question that you, my friend, need to know to grow your business faster and to live a more fulfilled life? If you're just popping on, great to see you guys. My name is Summer Jeronimo, and I am out of Houston, Texas today. And I help network marketers that want to take their skill, their mindset, and their income to that next level. So if you guys are popping on, go ahead and drop a hashtag live and let me know where you're coming in from. I have been at an absolutely incredible event for a 6-day period with a gentleman, none other than Mr. Tony Robbins. And we talked about so many different things, but one of the things that we're going to get into tonight is the most important question, the number one question that you, my friend, need to know to grow your business faster and to live a more fulfilled life. So do yourself a favor. This is probably something your team should know too. So if you're in the network marketing profession, feel free to share with your team. You can hit the share button and invite your peeps on, or feel free to tag them in the comment section. What's up, Miss Lucia? How are you, girl? I got Tucson in the house. I see Lilia. Who else do we have? Hey, Joanne and Jason. How are ya? Who do we have over here? Hello, Amy. So, my friends, we are going to talk about this. Over this past 6 days, I have taken in all kinds of stuff. Thank you, Lilia, for sharing. Guys, if you do share, drop a share in the comment section so I can publicly recognize you. Great to see all you guys popping on. What's up, Cameron? How are you? Great to see ya. So, as I was saying, over this past week, I have been at this event called Date with Destiny with Mr. Tony Robbins. And I have been looking through my notebook, which is like, it's pretty thick. I've been looking through this and I've been thinking about what could I share with you that could add value to your life? What could I share with you that could help you go faster on your journey in network marketing? That could help change your life in a positive way. And what was interesting is out of this entire 6 days, it was so full. We went from we were getting in at maybe 10, 11 in the morning, and we would go until 2 the following day, 2 a.m. So it was really, really crazy. It was a ton of fun. We made some incredible relationships that I know I will have forever. But I was going through this. I was looking through my notes, and I was just kind of jotting down, what are some different things that I could share with you that I think that would help you. And I'm going to be straight up with you. So much of what I learned was experiential. It's like you had to be there, right? And I'm not going to tell you, hey, you had to be there, but what can I digest from that and try and bring you as much of the experience as possible, so that you can learn something that will help you grow in your life, in your business, in your relationships, in any area of life that you want to move forward in. Are you game? If you're game, put a yes in the comment section. And so out of everything I was brainstorming and everything that I could try and share with you that you could pick up, and we could do this without being at the event with the other 5,000 people from 80 countries, one of the things that I found out that I think would be most helpful would be this thing they call primary question. And that's the number one question that you really need to know to change your business, to change your life. And you might be wondering, what is this primary question? If you've ever heard of this, put a 1 in the comment section. If you've not heard of the primary question, drop a 2 in the comment section. And if you're on the live, drop a hashtag live. If you're watching on the replay, give me a replay. So here's what I want to share with you. So let me go ahead and get that section pulled up. But the primary question is basically something that we continually ask ourselves. I don't know if you consciously know what yours is, or if maybe it's a subconscious thing. For me, I kind of did know, but I also had to discover it. So what is the most important question that you need to know? Well, each and every day when we get up, we get out of bed, we get things grooving in the house, we run off to work or start a workout, or we go start our network marketing business, whatever it is that we do all day long, usually once or twice or 2 or 3 times throughout the day, there is one question that you will hear from yourself over and over and over again. And it can be a question that empowers you and lifts you up, or it can be a question that literally is dragging you down like a weight around your ankle. And so maybe you know what that is, and maybe you don't. But we went through this experience where we kind of dissected what could be our primary question. What are the things that are driving you most in your life? Is it love and connection? Is it significance, like a feeling of importance to other people? Is it contribution, like giving back? Is it growth? Is it certainty? Like, okay, you just want everything to be the same. No matter what happens, we just need to have some sense of certainty, right? Is it uncertainty? Like a little variety, like mixing things up. What are the things that drive you? If you know what it is for you, and there's six basic human needs. So if you happen to know what it is, I named them all. If you happen to know what it is for you, drop it in the comments section. It could be certainty, uncertainty, growth, loving connection, significance, and what was the last one? I know I mentioned it already. Contribution, okay? So those are the 6 basic human needs. And we have to think about what's the thing that's really pushing us. For so many people, what I found is that the majority of the room, when Tony said, hey, is it this for you, or is it that for you, or what is it for you? So many people raised their hand, especially the business people, okay? Because it was probably 98% business people that were there. Hey, what's the thing that drives you most? And for a lot of people, it was, hey, I want to be number 1 in my business. Hey, I want to get to the top of my company. Hey, I want to do all these great things. Are you with me? If you're with me, drop an amen in the comment section. And so that's what we discovered. And so what a lot of people had is significance was driving them, or it was one of these other things. And so we have to think about, like, maybe you might know what is the question that you ask yourself most frequently. I'm going to tell you mine, okay? Full disclosure here. So I'll tell you Tony's and I'll tell you mine. Okay, so Tony's, the question, when he first discovered this, like a gazillion years ago, 20, 30 years ago, when he first discovered this, he said, there's one thing we constantly ask ourselves. And he discovered that his one thing was, how can I make it better? And we think, oh, how can I make it better? Hey, that's a great question. It can be a great question. And there were so many positive things that he got about it. There were so many positive things like, hey, he was always striving to improve. He was always striving to give more. He was always striving to make it better. But the flip side of that, right? We have to kind of take a step back and say, hey, what's the positives, but also what are the negatives? The flip side of that is that the question, how can I make it better, presupposes that it's not good enough already. And so it can be kind of like this constant thing where you're always running to make it better when it was already freaking awesome just the way it was, right? And so having to look at that, sometimes we have these primary questions that end up being something that help us, but they also can end up being something that sometimes they cause a little harm in our life, or sometimes they're not very positive. For example, one of the partners that I had, we partner up, we have a buddy and we talk to them, right? One of the partners that I had, we talked about it. Hey, what's your number 1 question? What's the thing you ask yourself over and over and over again? What do people think about me? What do people think about me was her primary question. That was the thing she was constantly asking herself over and over and over again, all throughout the day. Now, I have a question for you. If you ask yourself 10 times a day, or 5 times a day, or even once a day, what do people think about me? Do you think that would be something that would help you or hurt you? Just drop a note in the comment section. Put help or put hurt. And so it's so interesting because that was one thing that she was constantly asking herself. And while there was some positive benefits, like what are people thinking about me? Hey, we want to make sure we're looking good. We got ourselves pulled together. Hey, are we giving back? Are we helping people? What are people thinking about me? Positive things. Negative. Constantly paranoid, constantly concerned, having a hard time with rejection. Do you see what I'm talking about, right? And so I'll share with you mine. So my primary question prior to going was, what do I need to do? That was the primary question. So probably I get up, I say, all right, what do I need to do? Highly motivated, highly goal driven, right? All right, what do I need to do? And I look, all right. And so I start making a list, and my list ends up being like a mile long. That's what I need to do. And what's the positive of that? The positive of that was obviously super for achieving, super for getting out there and getting things done. Totally awesome for that. However, what's the negative side of that question? Negative side of the question was, could never turn it off. I was like, what do I need to do? At the movies, what do I need to do? And so how can we, number 1, identify what's your primary question, right? This is for you. This is me trying to help you with something that I had a major breakthrough with, and I want to share the love with you. Also, if this is adding some value to you, feel free to share the love with some people you know. You can invite them to jump on with us. You can share this, share the video, share the replay, right? So just think about that. If you know what your primary question is, it can help you direct the focus and the thoughts in your life, or it could be something that's holding you back. So I would just encourage you, as we get ready to finish this thing up here and we kind of come to a close, when we're done with this video, think about, hey, what is the one thing I ask myself over and over and over again? And maybe ask your spouse. It's funny because that's what I thought my question was. And I told my husband, he's like, oh yes, that's absolutely your question. And so, you never know. So think about what that is for you. Now I'm going to walk you through a couple of questions since we have some questions to go through here. So what do we think the primary question is for you? That's the first thing. Second thing, what do you think is positive? What are the positive things that this question is doing for you in your life? How is this helping you? Okay? And then the flip side of that is, how is this not helping you? How is this holding you back? How is this something that is actually getting in the way of your success? For example, let's say if you are in network marketing and you are thinking that, what are people thinking about me? That could be something that would be a question that could really bring up a lot of limitations, right? Because if we're always so concerned about what everybody thinks, we're never going to go for it. We're never going to ask them, hey, do you keep your options open? We're never going to prospect people because we're always caught up in our head of what do people think. So it can be a little challenging. So just think about what that might be for you. Now, let's get into a little transformation. All right, so once we know what it is, we know the positives, we know the negatives, then we need to move on to what's the intent of the question, okay? So what for me, the intent of what do I need to do is obviously want to have a lot of success in whatever it is I'm focusing on. Obviously want to make moves, right? But at the end of the day, I want an amazing quality of life with my spouse and with my family and with the people that I care about most, right? That's what I want at the end of the day. So that's the intent behind the question. All that other stuff is just motives. Are you with me? If you're with me, drop a M in the comment section. So it was motives, right? So we have to identify, what are the motives? What's the thing behind that that's kind of the positive intent, right? So how can we keep the positive intent and change that question up a little bit? Reframe it a tad so it's more powerful. It helps us even more in what we want to do, okay? Once we do that, we can think about what would be a new way we can phrase that question to ourselves so that it can help us go faster. It can help us do it in a more positive way where we're not either self-conscious or where we're having a good time with life and doing it. Do you get the idea? You know what I mean? So how can we take the positive intent and reframe it into something that's more powerful for us? So my new primary question has become, how can I live today with more joy and excitement and do the things that God has called me to do? So same thing, right? What do I need to do? Or how can I live today with more joy and excitement and do the things that God has called me to do? That's my new primary question. And so we had to sit and think, hey, what do we need to, what's the positives? Are there any negatives of this new primary question? And if so, how are we going to lock it in? How are we going to, focus on keeping this the same? Keeping this as something that we constantly retrain ourselves to ask this question instead of the old question that maybe was holding us back or pulling us down. Are you with me? Is this making sense? Is this something that you find helpful or interesting? If so, drop a yes in the comment section. So out of the 6 days I spent with Tony, out of everything we covered, there was probably, let's say, half of the day on this. And I know we've tried to squish half of a day into 10 minutes, but I hope it's some food for thought for you. I hope it's something that you take and you digest and you think about and you say, you know what? What's the one thing I have been asking myself over and over and over again? And has it been something helpful? Has it been something that's been hurting me? And if so, what can I do to change it? What can I do to make it better? And if you're at a spot in your life where you truly do want to get better, you want to get better in your business, you want to get better in your personal life, you want to get better in your relationships, then I have something that I believe will help you. Earlier this year, I put together something called the 10 steps. And it's the 10 steps to rank advance. But it's really all about you creating your breakthrough. Moving the stuff out of the way that has been holding you back, whether it's the primary question or whether it's a variety of other things. Sometimes we have some stuff that gets in the way of what we really want in life. And so if you are ready for your breakthrough, if you are ready to go to that next level, if you're ready to start living life to the full, having a more abundant, more joyous life, getting to the top, but enjoying the ride, then this, my friends, is for you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link here in the comment section, or it'll be up in the description, and you can click on that. It will take you to a special page, enter your email, and then you'll get access to this special bonus training. So that is my free gift to you. And guys, I got to scoot. I have a place I got to get to, but it's been so great spending time with you all. Cameron, Lucia, it's great to see you guys. I hope this is something that added some value to you. If so, drop a comment below. Let me know what was your major aha that you heard from this. Also, feel free to tag and share with the people that you have in your team. So until next time, my friends, live life to the full. Conquer your dreams and go get everything that God has in store for you. Take care and be blessed.